GOP voting numbers will go down in disgrace if the Democratic machine continues to have you erased. And today we are talking replacement theory.
Fake news.
What is it? What does it mean? And how it affects our elections going forward? What replacement theory is not. There was all racist and they're trying to breed white people out of the population. That is a falsehood. Because there's lots of great migrant success stories like Prudencia Ortiz, founders of Goya Foods.
It's such an honor and such a blessing to be here in the greatest country in the world, the most prosperous
It comes from China.
Continue to grow, and that's what we're here to do today. Our company was founded in 1936 by my grandfather, who left Spain at only 18 years old. Did not know where he was heading, but he was heading and looking for opportunity.
Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
In this great
because
country.
you'd be in jail.
Today, our company is a multi-billion-dollar company with thousands of employees.
Even Elon Musk.
Only in America.
Right, only in America, I agree, absolutely. I remember thinking and saying that America is where great things are possible, more than any other country in the world. It's a little cliche, but it's true. America is the land of opportunity.
Born in South America, and on his way to Canada, later becoming a U.S.
Fake
citizen.
news.
And to be honest, if it wasn't for him, this video probably wouldn't be allowed on the internet. These are the type of people we want migrating to the U.S. People who have ideas, people who believe in the hard work and family values. Unlike the mess we have at the southern border. So let Papa North tell you how this plays into replacement.
Fake news.
They were well-fed, well-clothed, and definitely well-funded. That's the damnest clean Biden-Harris shirts I've seen for someone who's been traveling by foot for thousands of miles. And let's not kid ourselves, anyone. This is a Soros-funded operation. Regardless, we've seen all the criminals, murderers, thieves and coyotes, human traffickers and rapists, skyrocketing crime numbers from people who clearly don't hold the values we have as Americans.
It comes from China.
This is new video just into News Nation from overnight at the U.S.-Mexico border. This is on a ranch just off the Rio Grande. But for the dragnets by the Texas Highway Patrol and Texas Rangers, all the illegal immigrants you're seeing in this video would be well on their way into the United States.
Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
And then came
because
back.
you'd be in jail.
Tonight, our friends at The Hill report that the situation on the border is a lot worse than you think. Border Patrol caught 4 known MS-13 gang members in a 13-hour span. 2 of them had been deported before.
A case of take what you can get, contributing nothing to a system, because that system is all too busy handing it out for free to you. But I thought you said this would explain replacement theory. Because now you're introducing an astronomical number of people
Fake news
into the country who don't hold our core values and fit in more to the demographic of a liberal melting pot. And as that breeds a whole new culture of government dependency, instead of a country with a little hard work and good values, you can make a real life for yourself. And with the staggering 1 million illegal migrants who crossed the borders in the last 2 years of the Biden administration, and that's just the ones they caught.
Fake news.
Borders are. Has anyone seen the borders are? $1 million is like the size of a metropolitan city, as the Biden administration has a plan to have them all fast-tracked into American citizens. With another 2 years before the election, and migrants pouring in from Ukraine, Syria, and Afghanistan, these are all numbers that could tip election scales. This is one of the ways the Democratic Party plans to replace your vote. And with border agents criticized by the Biden administration for trying to do their job.
There are photographs and reports of border agents on horseback using what appear to be whips on Haitian migrants. Does the administration view that as an appropriate tactic? Can you speak to that? There are people who are upset about it.
Yeah, understandably so. I've seen some of the footage. I don't have the full context. I can't imagine what context would make that appropriate, but I don't have additional details. And certainly, I don't have additional context. April, I don't think anyone seeing that footage would think it was acceptable or appropriate.
Which clearly turned out not to be true. Yet the agent's punishment still stands, and an apology was never issued. And while touting the plight of the southern migrants, the Biden administration remains silent on Uyghurs in China, Christians being persecuted in Muslim states, refusing Cuban migrants when Raul Castro started clamping down on civil liberties in 2020. We'll be getting back to that in a moment. But you better believe celebrities like Brad Pitt will stand up for gay rights of Iranians while staying mum on Christian persecution. And LeBron James to tell you just how wonderful China is.
Fake news.
A free cell phone and a ticket just to promise to appear in court. Why wouldn't anybody just want to jump over the southern border? Next thing you know, they'll be handing out El Caminos and chicken crates. Which brings us to Title 42. The Papa North, Title 42, Orange Man, Baddies, Racist. Well, actually, Title 42 was an order issued by the director for the Center of Disease Control in early 2020 when the COVID pandemic hit, which made it more difficult for asylum seekers to cross the borders, with many of them being expelled from the states within 24 hours, which led to an 85% drop in migrant crossings at the southern border during the Trump administration. But in April of 2021, the Biden administration had the law repealed, reopening the floodgates.
Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Governors began shipping migrants by bus to cities like Chicago and New York. Even Governor Greg Abbott sent busloads of them to Washington, D.C., stating that Washington would be much better equipped to handle the situation than Texas.
We're dealing with a federal issue that the District of Columbia won't be able to bear.
Even good old Ron DeSantis flying them right to the front doorstep of Martha's Vineyard.
To Martha's Vineyard yesterday, following a recent tactic by Republican governors to draw attention to what they say are President Biden's failed border policies.
But in less than 24 hours, they said.
It was an emotional morning on the Vineyard, full of hugs and goodbyes.
Get out! But as it stands right now, 21 states have issued a complaint with the Supreme Court, having this order put on hold in a decision pending in May. But you said you get back to DeSantis! Well, it's all about the long game, especially in politics. In 2019-2020, when Raul Castro began clamping down on his people's civil liberties, which included political assassination and the shutting down of media outlets. Sounds like Ukraine.
It comes from China.
There was a massive uprising by the people and a call around the world to bring more Cuban migrants into the U.S. The Biden administration outright refused to have any Cuban migrants land in the States. For most of them, their first and final stop would have been Florida, one of the few states to thrive during
Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Family values taught in schools, great American values. This is a state that migrants truly could thrive in. The last thing Democrats want to see in a Republican-ran state. And if it truly takes a migrant roughly 10 years to completely assimilate into a country, in just under 10 years in 2020, what would be coming around? 2028 presidential election, where DeSantis will run for president. He's not running in 2024. If he is, he is a placeholder in the debates. We'll need him in Florida through 2028, where hopefully he can complete 2 terms, and with a likely Trump win in 2024, that gives us 12 years to clean up this mess and make America great again. But we can't get this done without you patriots getting to the polls in person. And despite court outcomes, we know Arizona's Kari Lake is making sure our next election cycle runs much more and much more transparent than our previous one. But what about the long game? It's all about your civil liberties, because elitists in Washington have been trying to take them away one by one, using a slow roll method until nobody notices it. 9/11, your right to privacy with the Patriot Act, turning into government spying on your cell phone conversations and social medias using drones. We thank you, Mr. Snowden, for exposing that one.
It comes from China.
Wrong Snowden. Better. The COVID-19 pandemic, taking away your medical rights and right to mobility. January 6th, your right to free speech. With more than 14,000 hours of video not shown to the public, emails from Nancy
Donald
Pelosi
Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in
The only person
jail.
to die that day was an unarmed citizen stuck in the window. Ashley Babbitt, may you rest in peace. Now with an upcoming climate crisis, soon your rights to consumption will be taken away, which is a slippery slope to losing your freedom of choice, leading us to an eventual outright dictatorship, unless great patriots like Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, oh, and you guys, start turning the ship around now. So until next time, Liberty North,
Stand back and stand by.
Patriots assemble. And God bless America!
Fake news.
With the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.